Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vikas Goel, and I have spent almost 4 decades working in telecom. Earlier, I was with a couple of telcos. Very recently, I was with Gupta for about 3 years. And right now, I've taken a pause and reflecting on the industry and helping a couple of startups, in this space. So that's me. Thank you.
Hi, this is Sumesh Menon. I'm with Utopia. Utopia is an infrastructure play, works with telecom operators around the world. What we try and do is help enterprises leverage telecom infrastructure, telecom rails, for better user experience.
Hi, I am Alok Maurya. I had the product division for Globe Teleservices. We are into the MNO business as most of the colleagues have defined in the previous panel. I personally take care of the CPaaS and all the MNO related products that are being churned out of GTS.
Hi, Matt. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Akshay Dhoot. I am leading a company called Smartping AI, which is a telecom operator focused purely on enterprise segment. And we are into largely A2P SMS, WhatsApp, RCS, conversational AI, chatbots, and voice bots. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we kind of kick off the question to my panelists, we want to focus on how the industry is moving from, pure play A2P messaging, SMS, one-time password, towards AI-driven omni-channel engagement, WhatsApp, RCS, voice, etc., and what that means for enterprise customer experience. So I think maybe to just kind of keep it an open conversation, I like the panelists just to kind of give me your perspective, and when you see the topic, when you see the challenge, when you see the opportunities, what comes to your mind? What are the key things that you look at, or that you would like the audience to know? Maybe I'll leave it open, and maybe Alok or whoever want to kick it off. Yeah, maybe Vikas. Maybe we'll start from the left. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. It's a great question, Matt. First of all, I'm a little equidistant from the industry, so I can speak on behalf of telcos, on behalf of aggregators, on behalf of consumer as well. But the way I see is that consumer experience is currently broken, excuse me, and also being solved very piecemeal, in the sense that somebody is coming and selling SMS, somebody is coming and selling WhatsApp, somebody is coming and selling an RCS, email solution, etc. At the end of the day, if we keep the consumer right in front and see what problem are we trying to solve over there, and then create a platform which solves that problem, then I think a lot of these challenges in terms of pricing, in terms of hyper competition can go away, because in today's world, a lot of companies would want to go to market very fast, very big, and there's no other mechanism other than digital media or digital IP networks. So I think we have to, as an industry, we have to look at what is the experience we are giving to the consumer. Do we solve this piece by piece, or do we want to solve wholesome, seeing that what is the total cost of customer acquisition, what is the total cost of customer relationship, etc., and then we work backwards in terms of finding a solution. So this is my thought, and this is what I am moving forward in terms of my future investments and engagements with multiple companies.
Sumesh?
Thanks, Matt. So we define our customers as enterprises globally who are essentially the ones who are paying the money. And in all the conversations that we are seeing with enterprises and with the community, they don't care of the how. They have a specific objective, which is get this message across to the user. And traditionally, we've been really obsessed about the how. We've been obsessed about the wrong metrics, like delivery rates. We're saying, this is our channel, this is the delivery rate we provide you, we are done. What we are hearing now, especially from the really large enterprises who are trying to solve this globally, they don't care if it's being sent by carrier pigeon. They want the message to be delivered. And they want, the way they measure it is not through delivery, but conversion rate. Now the buzzword in the industry is CR. And it's incumbent on us to solve that problem. So how you solve it via SMS, RCS, WhatsApp in the most efficient and most cost-effective way is essentially what they're asking. So once you hear that clarion call from the enterprise, then it's incumbent on us as an industry to solve that problem through the mixed mode that we have, right? So a lot of my peers, the industry is actually trying to solve this problem right now, which is the focus is on CR and less about DLR.
So yeah, I think basically we still have to fix the fundamental problem, which is like just getting it there at 100% rate if possible. Yeah. Alok, your thoughts on
Yeah.
what are we seeing in the industry today? Yeah.
So just carrying forward on the point, in India, acceptance of any channel is almost, very instantly. The acceptance is very high when you calculate on the numbers. But what actually matters is we have a very varied enterprise segment also within the enterprise industry. There are some enterprises who rely on the digital channel itself. They don't go for the traditional one because that suits their business model, their likes of customer, the genesis that they bring into the table. But then there are plethora of enterprises. Those are still relied on major SMS volume. Some are trying to learn the WhatsApp curve. The delivery when it comes, the understanding of the channel is there, but what suits their use case? Is WhatsApp the right channel for that moment, or SMS or RCS? That educational curve, that knowledge gap is still there. And that is what we would like to solve as a, a player into this equation. And we would like to see how this available options on the table can be placed well to maximize the ROI for those enterprises and their consumers.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Matt, I'm very much in sync with my industry peers. And what I would like to say is that there has been a rapid evolvement and a revolutionary change in how enterprises are communicating with their clients today. It's been evolving since the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, quite a bit, where earlier it was all about delivering certain messages to the clients, to the end consumers. But today it's all about engaging the consumer in activity. Enterprises are looking to engage them in various ways. They want that, today, if a consumer of, let's say, a water purification company wants to want to get his water purifier fixed. So he doesn't need to call up the company. All he has to do is, drop in a WhatsApp, say that, I'm available at this particular time, maybe make a UPI payment on WhatsApp itself or RCS. And once the whole thing is scheduled, then that schedule goes into the CRM of the company, and the CRM further pushes those messages to the engineer. Then feedback is taken from the customer as well. So in this way, the customer's entire cycle is known to the company, what exactly is happening, when the consumer is responding. And everything is now so much faster. All this can be done while sitting in a middle of a meeting by the consumer. So that is what today's enterprises are looking at. They don't really care so much about how much volume or traffic will come. Even the platforms today, the super aggregators, the telecom operators, they are not really interested so much in the market share. They are more interested in how they can drive the consumers of various enterprises that they are serving. And I think that's what has changed so much in this industry.
Yeah. So I want to mention voice. I think maybe plus, I was actually, 2 weeks ago, I was at Enterprise Connect in Las Vegas, whereby, CPaaS, aggregators, providers, I mean, the big, most of the expo floor is dominated by, companies like the Twilios and the Infobip, the Cinch. I mean, the people that we are familiar with promoting their voice, AI, and all the different ways that, from speech to text, AI-driven bots, agentic solution, leveraging voice and AI. I think from that perspective, it looks like it's a critical layer in the customer experience. I guess the question is for India, do you see voice becoming increasingly important channel. Yep.
I mean, from the customer set that we hold and that we talk to, voice in India really plays a very critical role. And enabled by the agentic AI solution that reduces their cost of operation to some extent, really helps them in most business critical environment. For example, like if you talk about Uber, one of the panelists who is missing here today, so they have in their app option to make a voice call, right? There is an option to make a chat as well, but we know at the bottom of our heart, the guy who is driving, how he will reply back on the chat. So isn't voice call the best option? So those are the small use cases that take to a larger extent also in the discovery phase or in the customer support phase, where voice plays and still plays a very critical role. But then again, depends what kind of enterprise you are approaching, and that enterprise has what kind of use cases to solve.
So I'd like to add to that, not only is voice, it continues to be a very important part of this whole ecosystem of communicating with consumers. But now what happens is when you have voice bots on the line, then at the same time nowadays you also have AI to understand how the consumer is responding, how they are behaving. For example, if a company says that they are asking that your EMI payment is due and when do you plan to pay it or something. And if the consumer seems a little hesitant or is not very confident that if they'll be able to pay, then the AI is able to detect those things and it is able to pass that information on to the agents at the call center. And then the call center is accordingly prepared to give a different option or a different payment plan to that particular consumer. So again, in this, AI is playing a very, very critical role. We run a helpline for the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So in that also, there are so many calls coming in when the weather is bad. So at a time, there are 1,000, 1,200 farmers calling. So at that point also, voice bots then play a very important role because, sometimes there's such high demand and sometimes becomes impossible for even the, agents at a call center to handle those calls. So again, that also gives an idea of what is the stress in their voice? Are they happy with the services? Are they not happy? So again, voice is continuing to play a very, very important role, I feel.
Okay. Yeah, Vikas, your thoughts on?
Yeah, so you see, India loves talking. We love talking. So voice is always reassuring in the sense that if I receive a call from somebody, I find it little reassuring in terms of communication. At the same time, it is intrusive. So hence the alternate platform of a chat which is available. But having said that, typically a cost of one call or one call in India costs roughly about 25 rupees. A call which lasts about 6 minutes or so. Now, having said that, there are about 22 languages over here, or 5 languages. Creating that kind of a call center ecosystem with multilingual 24/7 is a painstaking task. So I think that's where voice AI steps in very beautifully, because it does it at 1/4 of the cost. But today I read somewhere that Mr. Arjun Malhotra launched a AI company called Swara, which does it about 50 paisa per call. So compare that to the fact that 25 rupees to 50 paisa, that's the cost arbitrage which they are giving. It works 24/7 by 365, no leaves. It talks in multiple languages. And then you have an option of switching over to a voice agent or human agent as and when you want. So I think this industry, especially the voice industry, is going for a major change, major shift. And if you see a lot of investment which have happened in Bay Area has happened on voice AI companies.
Yep. So I want to move, I think I do feel that customer experience is still broken. I think there's many ways that we need to improve where we are today. For example, if you talk about the journey across channel, it is still fragmented. No continuity, conversation reset when switching channel. There's lack of seamless orchestration layer across SMS, OTT, voice channel. I think I guess the question is that where, if we were to fix something, what should we fix to at least satisfy some of the needs from the enterprise? Yeah. To at least the customer journey and the orchestration part of the enterprise customer experience.
I think you answered it partly in your question, which is the orchestration layer, right? Which is bringing all these tools in the market under one roof, where the customer is not necessarily seeing the switch, but you're intelligently doing the switch and serving, the goal that the customer has, the enterprise wants to do. And I think that's where the intelligence comes in, because today, compared to maybe 10 years ago, there's so many options in the market available. We talk about RCS, WhatsApp. In certain countries, certain OTTs are better than others. Zalo is very big in Vietnam compared to WhatsApp in Vietnam. So bringing all of these together in such a way that the customer experience is protected in a very intelligent way, both at the back end and also in the front end. So a lot of challenges are, let's say for an OTP experience, the customer needs to context switch. He needs to go to his messaging. If it's WhatsApp, he needs to go to WhatsApp. And a lot of the failures happen because the default behavior of the customer is to go to his messaging app and search for the OTP. If you don't inform him at the front end that you need to check your WhatsApp OTP, we're doing a disservice to that, and therefore your CR will come down. So creating that orchestration layer that actually solves for it at the front end, creating that orchestration layer that solves for it at the back end, where the enterprise doesn't have to worry about it. It could be an SDK in the front end, it could be obviously an intelligent routing system at the back end. That is now where the value is for the industry, right? Other than just the channel alone.
So I totally agree with that point. I have seen many fintech companies, the new age one, have started using dual channel to avoid that kind of gap. They send the OTP on your SMS as well as on the email which you have registered. Sometimes they show that you will be receiving OTP on both the channels, or sometimes they don't show. So you have to be, on that part. But yes, the orchestration layer, the real omni-channel play of a platform, that is where the key lies as of now. And yes, the fragmentation is there. The omni-channel part is marketed, but missing at the core in many shapes and forms. And that is not only the technical gap, that is also a feature gap. Like some feature, when we talk about omni-channel, making it is a technical thing, easier, but the feature doesn't match between WhatsApp and RCS. The feature doesn't match between Zalo and WhatsApp. So if you have all this channel, you will still be having certain gaps. Some features will work on WhatsApp, will not be available on the other one. So you have to strategize sitting with that enterprise, what they want to deliver and how you can place it better, right?
I think I agree with Alok in the sense that, largely what happens is that to a same person you send messages or the information via multiple channel, and one person is completely left out of the system. He doesn't get any access whatsoever. That's one challenge, because we don't know whether he's receiving a voice call or SMS or WhatsApp. I think the HOTO process, handover takeover process between multiple channels at the back end, which is the CRM, should be intelligent enough that if, look, I have communicated over a WhatsApp, then I need not communicate him over an email or an SMS or a voice or a human, this thing. So I think you will, what will happen is that you will remove in those duplicacies which are happening, which increases the cost also and increases the customer retention. Also, you will remove the gaps because you know what customer is not at all available whatsoever. Whether it is RCS or WhatsApp, if he's not there on IP channel, he's not there. So best way is to communicate through voice, message, or whatsoever is that. So I think that's something which is required extensively, especially in this hyperscale world, when new companies are coming and they want to launch their product today, tomorrow, go nationwide within 24 hours, 7 days. So that kind of agility in terms of omni-channel presence and the use of omni-channel in the rightful manner is required.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I know this has been talked, but we need to mention this because this is still broken in the customer experience. Trust, identity, and fraud. I mean, these are, I think, major focus areas, major challenge areas for enterprise. It's still, we know that fraud, spam remains a major challenge across SMS and even OTT. Current solutions today, the DLT filters are fragmented and insufficient. So I guess to the panelists, you've heard previous discussion, your kind of takeaway and your thoughts itself around addressing this. Maybe you agree with the previous panel around, addressing some of these issues have to be the core focus. Alignment has to be there among, the ecosystem, the operators. Whether it's, moving, cleaning up the SMS OTP or moving to silent authentication, using network API, some of these new services that are coming in. I guess I want to anything you want to add to what has not been discussed already in today's forum when it comes to trust, identity, and addressing fraud? Yes.
So I heard the last panelist, and I think, and I've seen it myself, that A2P SMS back in 2009-10 was not regulated at all. We were allowing multiple maskers at that point in time. There was no sanity in terms of who owns that masker, whether it's actually HDFC Bank or not. And then the regulation came in, and suddenly they had all the aggregators and CPaaS players had a clear roadmap how to grow the business. So in my opinion, what is very important is to have a self-regulation as far as trust identity is concerned. Having said that, I think there is a limitation in A2P SMS because the first 6 characters identifies your brand. So if your brand name is, say, about 20 characters or 30 characters in 168 characters of an SMS, you simply can't build a trust of that source which you would want to have as a brand continuity. And that is where, these two-way channels, IP channels come in play because they allow you to publish your entire brand, logo, name, full name, and you're able to figure out, yes, it has come genuinely from the identity who is communicating to me. So in my opinion, I think a lot of self-regulation and a lot of adoption of this IP channel will help in terms of creating those trust and obviously the orchestration, which allows you to move from one channel to another channel using the same brand, not a different brand. So that's my view.
Any other thoughts around, trust, identity, fraud? Sumesh? Go ahead.
Quick one. So we do a lot of work around silent authentication. We see a lot of interest with telcos. We see a lot of discussions at forums like these. And this is obviously one of the clear ways of bringing back an anti-fraud kind of mechanism because it's core to the network. But at the same time, it's very difficult for an enterprise today to get on to silent authentication or using SNAs because of just the blocks that are there. So at some point, if we are really concerned about fraud and security and we want to kind of bring in IP solutions, then the industry, including the people who are providing those IP solutions, have to democratize it, make it easier for more people to come on board, whether it's the onboarding process. We talked about friction yesterday, Matt. So reduce the friction in the onboarding process, reduce the cost differential so that more people experiment with it. Because these are things, security and fraud are things that everybody talks about, but very few people do anything about it because there's no financial incentive today. So you have to make it easy for companies to come on board and test these better solutions. And that's one of the things that I think, eventually we will get to.
Go ahead.
So while I feel that definitely fraud and phishing and all these scams are a very big challenge of today, I feel that the industry has moved forward to a good extent. If you see a few years back, so being a DLT operator myself, I have watched it very closely and I have seen that before the implementation of DLT by the DOT and TRI, there was a lot more heavier amount of spam, scams and all these kind of messages. So now, since there is the blockchain DLT layer is in place among the telcos, so then at least now we are being able to block a lot of these scammers. We are being able to identify which are the entities. lot of arrests have happened, and it is basically like, help take a huge step towards a more secure and safer environment. With that said, like also the operators which are there in the market, they are all like, having good AI filters in place, which are improving by the minute, by the day, and making sure that like, fewer scams are reaching. At the same time, India being such a huge country, there still exists like, so many people and scammers are there who are like, continuously trying to penetrate these systems. So it is very important that like how DLT, multiple operators came together and formed a single blockchain and created that. Similarly, I feel that CPaaS platforms or aggregators and telcos should again come together and build more such platforms, so that like everyone is aware on a single platform. They are aware that these are the scammers, these are the fraudsters, and like this is how we need to stop it. And as and when we develop more and more such filtration systems and that help us to identify these frauds, that is going to like the entire situation will definitely improve.
Alok, you have the last word. Since
I will just take less time. All the points are the same, and since morning trust and security was at the center and always remain center in MEF, but I would like to give my take like this. We are a huge population in context of India. The measures, the regulation that we have in India with respect to try the operators that come along and create that ecosystem, that's unmatched for in any other part of the world. With this kind of population and that kind of regulation being in place, when Shikha mentioned that Airtel is really doing good job in their spam filtering, the same has been available in our regulation and followed by other operators as well. So whatever is to be done is already been done, or a work in place is already there. There will be always some amount of fraudsters who will try to come into the picture and do some nasty job. But that's a cat and mouse game that happens. But we all are trying to comply with whatever regulation are coming in, like what DLT is taking shape, how digital channel like Meta, RCS, they are having their own working model for India that is also been complied to and regulated well. So I believe it takes time. It's already going into the right direction. MNOs are knowing their responsibility. They are putting up firewalls and other solution. We as a CPaaS provider, we are working on our database analysis, the behavior and traffic pattern analysis for our enterprises, big and small, all kind of. So whatever is to be done is already taking shape. And yes, a lot has to be done that will come out with collaboration, as the co-panelists have mentioned.
Okay, I think we are out of time, but thank you very much, panelists. I hope this has been helpful, insightful, useful, and I don't think this is going to be the last conversation around CX. We have a lot to fix, but I think the future is there. I think it looks like the omnichannel, the orchestration, fixing some of the trust, identity, fraud issue seems to be the common theme for this panel. Thank you again. Please give them a big round of applause.